Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Jack, and welcome back to another video. And shout out real quick to everybody that came by the stream last night. I actually streamed for about 7 hours, and it was a blast. I was originally supposed to work for the second week in a row on my day off, but I got a call earlier on the day of yesterday when I was supposed to work, and they told me, no, you don't have to work. We got everybody. We're good. And you just enjoy your day off like usual or whatnot, which was great. So I decided after getting my shit done and splurging on some Chipotle, about 4,000 calories worth with a couple brownies, by the way, which is actually true, I just decided to stream for the rest of the day, and that's how I recharge, and I enjoyed every second of it. I had company, I had more followers. It was a blast, and this is the gameplay. These are two of the gameplays from the stream, and it was a blast. So anyway, let's get on to the subject of today's commentary without wasting more of your time. Now, I know this one is kind of a change of pace of what I usually talk about, but I figured since I talked to a few friends in real life about this, or to a certain degree about something else, it's still within the same realm. So I wanted to get your guys' take. Now, I'm an adult. I'm perfectly capable of making my own decisions. And regardless of what anybody else says or thinks, I'm going to do what I think is best. But I thought I'd share this with you because it relates to life as well as it does in gaming. And I thought every one of us, especially those of us that are in gaming, in life, and as well as content creation and stuff like that, I mean, I think we all can relate with this video. So I thought I'd make a good topic. It would be a good way for me to get out there something, and at the same time, I wanted to make a video, and I figured, hey, let's talk about this, a little change of pace. So, okay, so I'm going to take you back to the beginning. So when the pandemic first hit, I really found myself from being in a pretty decent position to all of a sudden the most stressful and uncomfortable position in terms of, what could happen tomorrow, and worried about, the health from the pandemic as well, the health problems that could happen if you get sick and all these kind of things. And then the biggest thing also that scared me was the fact that in terms of work, I was limited in terms of granted, I was still lucky to work, but even my one job, it still wasn't enough to pay all my bills. It really wasn't. So, I mean, granted, given my situation, my average amount of monthly expenses that are actually necessities for the most part are higher than your average, one person. I take care of somebody else, and then there's a couple of other things that I don't want to get into, but long story short, it's quite a lot. But at the same time, no wonder people out there are on unemployment for the people that can get on unemployment. Because the wages are absolutely ridiculous for most jobs. And I mean ridiculous as in bad. I mean, how do you expect people to survive? The richer get richer, the poor get poorer. It's like even people that have master's degree in certain areas of education they feel like, I literally talked to somebody about a week and a half to 2 weeks ago, and they feel like they got duped because they're supposed to be getting such and such, they're guaranteed such and such, and then all of a sudden it's changed after a few years after they graduate and they got their master's degree and all that kind of stuff. It's like things don't pay like they used to pay, which is a damn shame, because people invested a lot of time, a lot of effort, and a lot of studying into their college, and yet they feel like they get duped when it's all said and done. It's like they took a huge ass pay cut and they're not making that much money. And with my second job right now, that's why I am so relieved and happy and blessed to be in the position I am right now, because I have been saving as if there's going to be another shutdown. As you guys know, there's things going on, obviously, I live in Florida, so what our governor recently did, he basically removed all mask mandates and stuff like that. And basically in certain areas you don't see anybody wearing a mask, but I was pleasantly surprised yesterday when I went to do my grocery shopping and stuff like that. A majority of the people were still wearing masks, which is great. It gives me hope for humanity, but at the same time, when you go to different places like vacation spots and stuff like that, nobody's wearing masks and everybody's like partying as if nothing ever happened. And I'm like, is it just me, or if things go like this, vaccine or not, or vaccinated or not, it doesn't make you 100% immune. And at the same time, it doesn't, people could still get sick and the cycle could restart again. So in my mind, I keep thinking, Jack, keep saving as much as you fucking possibly can, because there may be a second shutdown, or there may be this, or you may be forced to stop doing your second job because your life and your health might be at risk, because there's so many infected people in the area that you work in because of what you do for that one area, because it's in a vacation spot and it's yada yada yada, you know what I mean? So because like with me, you never know what's going to happen if you get this virus. Everybody's different. Some people that are seemingly healthy are fine, but yet some people that are seemingly healthy are like, they end up, the worst ends up happening. So it really is the luck of the draw, so to speak, or the unluck of the draw, however you want to put it. And So the thing is right now, until this is over, I can't help but say to myself, Jack, maybe you should not get the PC. Maybe instead you should just go for, granted, whenever it becomes available again, and if you're lucky enough to get one, an Xbox Series X or something like that, or a PS5. And if I had to choose between one or the other, it would be the Xbox Series X because of Game Pass and in terms of where they're heading and all that kind of stuff. Again, no hate in the comments. I'm not an Xbox or a Sony fanboy. I'm a gaming fanboy. I like everything. The other day I was at Walmart and I saw a Nintendo Switch that I could have gotten right then and there, and I just said no. And at the same time, there's plenty I have right now, even though I don't have any of the new consoles. And the rig that my friend was so nice enough to give to me, which is a very old rig, but it gets the job done for content creation, streaming, and recording. So I'm blessed in that aspect, and even gaming to a certain degree, but just on the very lowest of the low settings or whatnot. So and at only 60 frames per second. But all in all, in terms of, I've got the minimum necessity, and even if I were to get the Xbox Series X or the PS5, I would still be, it would be a hell of a lot less expensive than getting the gaming PC. And getting the gaming PC is like one of those things that I've been wanting a lot recently, because I recently switched to mouse and keyboard. But between everything I just said, it's like, Jack, maybe we should hold back a little bit. And again, I also wanted to bring you guys in on this because I know I've been talking about it for months now, especially for those of you guys that are following me on Twitter. I talk about it a lot. There's even a couple of people that I reached out into the DMs about it. So, and a lot of people also in real life have told me, like, it's unlikely that we're going to go into a second shutdown, especially if you're in Florida or whatnot, including my real life friends in Florida. But there's also the fact that tomorrow's not guaranteed, right? Tomorrow's not guaranteed, and basically you only have one life. So, and if it's going to make you happy and if it's going to make the difference, then YOLO, because you really can't predict the future, whether it's good or bad. You really can't fully predict it. You could do your best, best guess or whatnot, kind of like science, but again, you can't really predict everything, whether good or bad. But me, I've always been kind of a defensive person. I have no choice, especially since I take care of somebody else financially as well. So that's the way I think. And especially growing up poor, it really makes you think a certain way. Again, for a poor person, I'm not cheap. I don't consider myself poor now. Like, again, I'm in a very good position. I am definitely catching back up from what the pandemic did to me financially, which is a blessing in and of itself, because I know a lot of people are still not in that position. I know a lot of people are out there have struggled for years, even before the pandemic, to basically get ahead in life. But one thing happens over the other, and it always seems to stop you. The wages here in the States, for the most part, are very, they could be a hell of a lot better. And it seems like it's ridiculous. And I totally understand and empathize for the people that are living off of minimum wage, because they'd be getting, more money than they would working full-time or even overtime at regular jobs. So I totally get it. I've seen it all. I've seen the filthy rich, and I've seen the poorest of the poor, which I personally have firsthand experience of that. But I've never been filthy rich, ever. But with that aspect, I'm completely grateful for it, because I at least am able to see the world for what it is and not how my mind wants it to be. But when it comes to everything, I can't help but think the way I think, obviously, for now, reasons that you guys know and understand. So I'm thinking, on one hand, maybe I should hold off on the PC until everything is over. Or on the other hand, I could be like, Jack, you never know what could happen tomorrow. And the thing is, I keep on thinking to myself, like, let's say you found out you only have a year left to live or something like that. Would you get the PC or not, and stuff like that? And of course, would you have plenty of money left over after the PC is purchased? And the answer to that is yes. But at the same time, even if I were to make the $2,000 to $4,000 of purchasing, whether I want something on the low to medium end of PC in terms of what I want, or something of a high end, which would be $3,000 to $4,000, including accessories and everything like that, and all the bells and whistles to get the ultimate experience, and to not have to make an investment in upgrading for like a long ass time to come, and at the same time give you guys an even better version of content creation in terms of picture quality, streaming quality, and all that kind of stuff. And for me, for the first time ever, to experience 144 hertz at least when I play a first-person shooter game, or even if I play something else, even more frames and stuff like that. That stuff is very appealing to me. And at the same time, I'm a person that very much understands, especially through tragedy in life, not just And I'm not talking about financial tragedy. I'm talking about personal life loss tragedy as well. I'm very well experienced in that. Lost my biological father right before my eyes when I was 10. Lost my dad. Lost the man that raised me about 6 years ago now. Man, time flies. 5 years ago, actually. Sorry. So I very much know and understand about tragedy and stuff like that. And there's obviously things in between that I've experienced. Again, this is not a video about that, but so I can't help but think the way I think. So the question is, guys, I wanted to ask you is not to make the decision for me, but I made this video more or less to ask you this question. Number one, can you relate? And number two, am I being too paranoid? Because sometimes my defensive thinking I am old enough and humble enough to understand that sometimes I can get too paranoid. And even though financially I'm in a comfortable position right now, and again I'm working and saving to continue to build up the fluff, so to speak, as I like to put it, and I'm in a very good place right now, but I can't help but think the way I am, and I'm like, you know, it's still possible that things can still hit for the worst. Am I being too paranoid or not? So let me know down in the comment section, guys. I hope you enjoyed this change of pace or whatnot, and let me know down in the comment section what you think. I'd greatly appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys on the next one.